The news that shook the hearts of millions of Liverpool fans in 2024 still echoes through the stands of Anfield. The farewell of Jurgen Klopp. The German manager, a symbol of intensity, charisma, and passion, closed a golden chapter by leaving the Reds' helm after nearly a decade of triumphs that restored the club's winning soul. Yet, a year later, a simple remark from Klopp reignited a flame many believed had long gone out. In a recent interview, the legendary coach let slip a phrase that made the football world pause for a few seconds. A phrase that reopened the dream of seeing him, one day, back on Liverpool's touchline. Since his departure at the end of the 2023-24 season, Klopp has stayed away from the daily chaos of the pitch, taking on a more strategic global role as Red Bull's global head of football. The position places him in charge of football operations across several clubs under the brand's umbrella. It was a radical shift of pace for someone who, for years, lived football with a racing heart, on the sidelines, celebrating and shouting at every goal as if it were the first. Now, at 58, the coach seems to be enjoying this new phase, far from the pressures of the Premier League, yet destiny, as always, has a way of playing with certainties. During an open conversation on the Diary of a CEO podcast, Klopp was asked about the possibility of returning to English football. His response, though cautious, carried a hint of nostalgia and a tantalizing "what if" that made Liverpool fans dream again. "I said I would never manage another team in England. That means if I ever came back to England, it would be Liverpool." "Yes, theoretically, it's possible," said the German, with that enigmatic smile fans know so well. And that tiny glimpse of possibility was all it took for social media to erupt. Since that moment, fan forums, pages, and YouTube channels have been flooded with speculation. Could Klopp really return to manage Liverpool one day? A question that seemed unlikely a year ago now hangs in the air like a spark waiting to set imaginations ablaze. After all, Klopp wasn't just a coach, he was the architect of a revolution. Under his leadership, Liverpool stopped being a sleeping giant and became a modern empire, winning trophies that had eluded them for decades. With Klopp came the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Club World Cup, and 2 League Cups. But more than that, he brought back an identity. He gave Liverpool what the club has always held most dear: belief. Every victory had soul, every defeat had meaning. Klopp turned fans into a family, players into brothers, and Anfield into a living temple. That's why it's impossible for supporters to truly detach from that bond. Meanwhile, current Liverpool manager Arne Slot finds himself in a period of rebuilding and adaptation. Arriving at the end of the Klopp era, Slot took on an almost impossible mission: to continue a monumental legacy while also stamping his own identity. The Dutch coach has introduced fresh ideas, a modern touch, and a more cerebral tactical vision, seeking to balance intensity with control. Though his early months were marked by high expectations and inevitable comparisons, Slot has gradually earned the fans' respect through his calmness and footballing intellect. Still, Klopp's shadow is inescapable, and the mere mention of his name continues to stir deep emotion. In the same interview, Klopp made sure to emphasize that he's happy in his new role and doesn't miss the long, rainy training sessions, the press conferences, or the constant pressure. "I love what I do now. I don't miss coaching. I still coach, but in a different way, not players. I don't miss standing in the rain for 2 or 3 hours. I also don't miss interviews 3 times a week," he said with a light-hearted, genuine tone. It was the confession of a man who had finally found peace after years of relentless intensity. But those who know him well can read between the lines. Klopp is a hopeless romantic, in footballing terms at least, And for someone driven by passion, connection, and the energy of the crowd, it's hard to imagine he'll stay away forever. The tone of his words made it clear that while he's content, the fire of competitive football still burns quietly within him. Theoretically, it's possible. 3 words that, coming from Klopp, carry the weight of prophecy.
Since then, the subject has dominated Premier League backchannels. Sources close to the coach claim he has no plans to take another managerial role anytime soon, but they don't rule out a U-turn if the right circumstances arise. What exactly are those right circumstances? No one knows. Perhaps a new project, an emotional pull, or simply the irresistible call of Anfield, where his name still echoes through the stands like a sacred hymn. Meanwhile, Liverpool continues its journey under Arne Slot. The Dutchman is shaping a team built on refined possession and tactical intelligence, a sharp contrast to Klopp's heavy metal football of full-throttle pressing, pace and emotion. Slot has brought a new rhythm, more analytical, yet equally ambitious. And while every result is scrutinized closely, even critics admit he's managing the transition gracefully without trying to copy the inimitable. Still, the emotional connection between Klopp and Liverpool's fans seems untouchable by time. His name is still sung before major matches, and memories of those 2019 celebrations when Liverpool lifted the Champions League trophy in Madrid remain vivid in collective memory. That image of Klopp, with arms outstretched, smiling through tears, became the symbol of an era that redefined what it means to be Liverpool. It's fascinating how football can unite past and future in the same moment. Today, the club lives under Arne Slot's leadership, writing a new chapter, while Klopp's benevolent ghost still lingers in the stands, inspiring and stirring emotion. For many, even the faint possibility of his return is enough to reignite hope. After all, in a sport where everything can change within months, one should never say never. Klopp, for his part, seems comfortable with this ambiguity. He knows that his name and Liverpool's are intertwined forever. Even from afar, he follows their matches, praises Slot's work, and expresses gratitude to the club that made him a living legend. Though he insists he doesn't miss the exhausting routine, there's a sparkle in his eyes when he speaks about Anfield, a glow that not even a global executive role at Red Bull could dim. Ultimately, the interview revealed more than just a theoretical possibility. It exposed an emotional truth. Klopp and Liverpool remain connected by something far greater than contracts or positions. It's a story of love and mutual respect, built through sweat, tears, and unforgettable triumphs. And although Arne Slot is deservedly forging a new path for the club, there's always that lingering feeling that one day the master might return, home even only to hear the crowd chant his name one more time. For now, Klopp lives the present with serenity. Arne Slot leads Liverpool with ambition, and the fans dream of the future. A future that, as Klopp himself would say, is theoretically possible. And in football, when that possibility comes wrapped in emotion, the impossible is often just a matter of time.